Okay. So let me share the screen. Excuse me. Let me share the whiteboard screen here. Just a second. And then we're good to go. So actually I have shared my whiteboard screen. If you're able to see the whiteboard screen that I've shared on the screen, please go in the box chat and type number 111. If you are able to see the whiteboard screen that I've shared, just go and type number 111 on the box chat so that we can get started. Okay, good. Okay, for my friends who are in TikTok, I'm very sorry. I will be trying my level best to explain so that you can be able to understand, because I cannot display whatever that I'm trying to display on the Zoom, but I will try to explain in the way that you can understand. And remember, if you have something that you have not understood, just write it down, because I'll be giving the chance for you to ask the questions as well. So don't worry. I will do my best to make sure that you understand, because, okay, my English might not be that good, but I'm very sure that you're going to understand. Okay, so let me get started with our class. So basically, as I said, most of the people have been getting in the industry of crypto, but the results or the experience that have been the outcome of them getting engaged with a crypto has not been that good. It's not only in Africa, it's not only in Tanzania probably, or in Philippines or whatever. Most of the people have been getting a wrong or bad results, a bad experience when they get engaged with a crypto, to the point that sometimes it's even hard for a person. Okay, you're welcome. Sometimes it's even harder for a person to even say like they are dealing with crypto, because in most of the places, once you deal with crypto, you are a scam unless proven innocent. That's the truth. Because everybody, when they see you and you say like I'm dealing with crypto, they will be skeptical at some point. Unless they prove that you are innocent, then they can be comfortable with listening to what you have to say. In my journey with Inkryptus for the last 6 years, it's been a roller coaster, because I understand before Inkryptus, I got engaged with other projects that they didn't do well. And at that time, I was still in the amateur stage in the industry, but it helped me, because when I was losing, I took that as a school. I was not blaming the a person who brought me in the business. Rather, I was trying to learn like, okay, why did this company crash? What was the issue? What was the problem? So then later I came to realize like, okay, crypto is one of the very good opportunities that you can find them in the blockchain ecosystem, but it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a getaway to wealth with that value. You need to invest, but you need to invest correctly. And not only invest correctly, it has to be a right project with the right approach, then you get the right results. Sometimes many people lose money because they are being hyped with somebody's result, and they are obsessed with those results, and at some point they make decision out of results without even knowing the pattern of how the money is being made. A project being built on blockchain does not mean like it's a heaven sent idea that can print the money just like that. It's not like that. So we are going to have a very proper class, so we are good to get started. All I ask you is to make sure that you have prepared your head to have a space to accommodate what I'm going to inject, so you can digest and get to know which one you're supposed to assimilate for your financial elevation. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? So let's get started with our foundation of the class, blockchain. I'm pretty sure most of you have been hearing about the terminology blockchain. But the question is, what is really blockchain mean? What does blockchain mean exactly for you to understand as an entrepreneur? So basically, blockchain has two perspectives. There's a things that people understand about blockchain, which it really is, and some of the things that people believe about blockchain, which are not. The definition to be accommodated on the definition of blockchain. So when you talk about blockchain, I can take an example. Blockchain is the technology evolution that has gave the foundational layout to give a chance to people or group of people, institution who can innovate a certain idea, to be able to present that idea in a computer language or in a digital way, in which the ecosystem of that idea that has been implemented in blockchain will be operated by using automated language, which we call it smart contract. Am I talking to someone, ladies and gentlemen? When you talk about blockchain, you are talking about the foundational layout technology that allows people, institution, group of people to present or to implement and manage the idea that's going to be running in an automated system, which that command that is running in an automated way is called a smart contract. So when somebody tells you a smart contract, just understand it's a protocol that helps to execute the project that has been built on blockchain to be in an automated way. That is blockchain. So blockchain can be used um, as a tool that increases the accessibility for a project. When I'm saying it increased the accessibility, it's just like this. Maybe I was having a company here in Africa, specifically in my country, Tanzania. And then previously, before blockchain, for my friend like Rommel, who is in Asia, he is not able to access this project simply because it is from Tanzania. But through blockchain, it does not matter where the project is coming from. It can be from Russia, it can be from US, it can be from whatever. But the accessibility is on the internet. So I might invest in the project which is originated in Brazil or in Asia or in any other place without me going there, even demanding to know who is the owner. And I can have the full access to the services and I can enjoy the profitability of it just because we have a borderless access which is given by blockchain. So probably today I might have a company that I want to build in blockchain. It might be a company which were just built in a normal environment. Like, sometimes if you want to build a company, you need to have you need to go and register. You need to have probably let me say and employees to make sure that the departments of that company is working and connecting to bring about the whole ecosystem. But you need so much of employees to make sure that the ecosystem is running smoothly. But remember, when you have people in the company, people are prone to errors and they are biased. So with blockchain, the same company, I can just take the whole idea that I've built, and then instead of just going and opening up maybe the offices, putting the departments, I'm going to go to the computer programmer, and then he's going to translate my idea into computer programming language. And then after programming the whole language, you're translating the whole idea into a computer language. And then he's going to implement it or to install it in blockchain. And then from the blockchain, I will not need employees in departments to be running the ecosystem. Rather, I will need computer commands, which we call it smart contract, to make sure my company is running. So you find that it's the same company that was having employees to be running. But now, instead of having employees, I have accommodated computer commands, which we call smart contract, to run the same idea. So what has changed? Blockchain has changed the technical infrastructure for the business to execute, but it has not changed the economic perspective and the service idea that is behind the project. Am I talking to someone, ladies and gentlemen? So people sometimes think blockchain changes everything, changes even the economic structure on how the money should be made by the company. But the truth is, blockchain just changed the technical makeup, the technical infrastructure, and how the project will be managed. That's all that blockchain changes. But it does not change the economic structure on how the business is working and providing the income or the revenue to the ecosystem to make sure that the things are running smoothly. That is something that we all need to understand. So blockchain is an infrastructure that allows you to present your idea, but it will be in the computer language. But one thing that people have to understand, when you talk about blockchain, blockchain is not a stamp of legitimacy. When I'm saying blockchain is not a stamp of legitimacy, I mean not everything built on chain is legit and valid. Some of the people, they might have a scamming idea or sometimes illusion ideas. But remember, if it's something that I can write on the paper and explain how I want it, remember the computer programmer is just translating what you have wrote. So I might have an idea that I have wrote over there, but it's a scamming idea. The computer programmer will just translate it still and can implement in the blockchain, and it can be used to steal your money. So what does it needed? What is it needed here? Is for you to understand, like, okay, despite this project has been created and implemented and managed by using blockchain, and it is running by using a smart contract language, but I need to know exactly what is it that is running on a smart contract? What is it that has been implemented on blockchain? Because being on blockchain, running in a smart contract does not give a full guarantee that this project is a legit. That is different. That is very different. It has to be like, okay, what is it that is running on blockchain? Because at the end of the day, it's just like this. I might have a company, I write it everything, it's having its shares, and I come and pitch it to you. Oh, my friend, I have this company, I need you to buy the shares because it's going to be doing this and this and this. There is no way I'm going to buy the shares simply because he has spoke so nice words, and I don't see the idea making sense. Because remember, when we create a project, it has to be with the demand in the community. As people are engaging with your project, your company generates the revenue, and then your shares gets the reputation. Am I talking to someone, ladies and gentlemen? So the same thing with blockchain. If you see the idea that has been built on blockchain, it has to be worth it in terms of what does it solve? What solution does it provide to the community? So before even judging about blockchain and smart contract, you have to know what is it that has been implemented on the blockchain. If you see the idea that is running on blockchain by using a smart contract is making sense, is having an engagement point with the audience, with the clients, that's where now it validates your decision to become part of that project because you know exactly what are you investing on. If that is clear to each and everybody, please go to your box and type number 111. If the introduction to understand what is blockchain and what is not about blockchain, please go on the box chat and type number 111. Go on the box chat and type number 1111. Type, I see you people in the, okay, that's great. They're typing number 111. That is great. Type number 111 there on the box chat. Okay, that's great. So that is all about blockchain. And remember, this class will be available on YouTube tomorrow. So if you have not got the sum of the few points on the starting of the class, just know that it will be available on the YouTube channel, DN Academy, by tomorrow morning. So we have already understood what is blockchain. Some people, they tend to mention like, okay, blockchain works in 3 pillars: decentralization, transparency, and security. I will start to mention them here. Number 1, decentralization. So this is the thing. When we talk about pillars that are built on blockchain, remember, blockchain has not brought a new thing. Blockchain has just elevated the way things has to be accessible in equality. Because remember, the reason why blockchain was invented is that people saw like the financial system has been scrutinized to the point that it's not fair the way it's supposed to be. Like the rules are there, they are open, like the financial system should be fair, like this and that and that. But those people who are in control of the system, they are biased, they are corrupt. So they said like, okay, why can't we have a system that can take the control of whatever that's supposed to be equally treated to each and everybody in the financial system to be equal without even being compromised? So they said, why can't we have a system which is transparent? So talking about decentralization, decentralization is not a new thing. It's something that has been there. That's why when you buy a share to a certain company, in the annual meetings, before they do any kind of conclusion or decisions, they involve those shareholders who are able to make a decision to make sure they vote for new changes or new implementation, whatever. But the problem is those votes are not transparent. So the same idea of having a way to vote and give decision, it was implemented in blockchain so that it can be transparent. So what does decentralization mean? Decentralization mean like when a project is being implemented and something new has to be implemented in the ecosystem, or something has to be modified in the ecosystem, which were not written in the roadmap, or were not presented when you are buying the shares or buying the token probably. Before implementing, it has to be presented to the members. The members has to make a vote. If the vote will go beyond 51%, then it's going to be allowed to be implemented. If not, then the system will not open, because the good thing with the blockchain-based projects, the decisions are not made based on what I think, it's based on what we think, and it's directly on the reaction to the voting commands. If we have hit this votes number 51% plus, then basically the result will be this one. So the changes are only allowed directly if the votes have reached more than 51%. That is decentralization. Like the decision or is not focused on a single point of decision. It's based on whatever who has a governance power in the ecosystem. That is all about decentralization. Number two is all about transparency. So talking about transparency, that means anything has to do with the project built on blockchain. As much as most of the projects are built in open source code, it's easier for a person to access and see what is the project about, how does it run, what is the protocol, how everything, without even asking for authorization from the executives. Because as much as the project is built on open source code, as long as I have the contract address of the project, I can just take the contract address and put in the blockchain explorer, and I see everything about the blockchain, about the project. So I don't need to ask the executives about the project, which is not possible for these ordinary companies. But for blockchain based companies, you can see everything without even asking for authorization from the executive. That is all about transparency. Even the number of transactions, of course, you cannot see exactly who has done the transaction, but you know exactly how many addresses have transacted today and how much has been transacted. Like everything you can see. The only thing that cannot be disclosed is the clear identity, that who is doing the transaction and all that. Those are some of the securities that are being kept private. But to know the database of the whole as a company, you can just access without asking the permission to the executives. Number three is all about transparency. Transparency. When you talk about transparency means, security. Security. This is where now many people are making mistakes. Many people think when you talk about security to the project which are built in blockchain, they talk about something like you can never be stolen when you invest in the project built in blockchain. And I'm sometimes very surprised, because many people have been scammed with so many projects that they have been built on blockchain, and still they think this pillar of security means you can never be stolen. No, the security pillar in this blockchain perspective means on data security. Like whatever information, once it has been recorded in blockchain, it can never be edited or deleted. They are immutable, simply because most of the blockchain, they have something called decentralized ledger technology. Like whatever information, once it has been recorded, is going to be distributed to all of the nodes. When you talk about nodes, you are talking about all the computers in the network that are involved in validating the information. So if I delete the data, somebody else still have the data. And remember, the next new data that has to be added in the database must have the compatible information to the last data that has been recorded in the ledger. So it's impossible for you to delete maybe a single data and keep the rest. It's not possible. That's why they call it secured, because the data that has been recorded in the blockchain can never be tampered. That is the clear way how to define the pillars of blockchain. If you have understood clearly about the pillars of blockchain, please go on the box chat and type number 111. Type number 222. If you have understood about the pillars of blockchain, type number 222. Type number 22, everybody. Type number 2, type number 2, type number 2. If you have understood, that's good. Type number 222 to make sure that everything is clear. Now, as we have already covered the introduction to blockchain, understanding what is it, now we are going to see the projects built on blockchain. Of course, this is the part that we are going to discuss about the applications of blockchain. So basically, we are not going to cover everything, because you know exactly when you talk about blockchain, anything that can be written in codes, it can be presented in blockchain. And we have multiple ideas that people can present in blockchain. And one thing that we need to understand here, blockchain has not changed the economic perspective of business. It has changed the technical perspective of project implementation and management. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? blockchain has changed the perspective of implementation and management of the project, but it has not changed the economic perspective of the project. So we have a lot of projects that can be built on blockchain. Basically, you can see nowadays we have a lot of projects, like millions of projects coming in through blockchain innovation. But basically today, I would like to explain how the company can be presented in blockchain. Basically, before we even check about how the company is being presented in the blockchain, we need to understand how that the company in the normal perspective or in the ordinary way is being presented. So basically, let's take an example. We have a company, and this company maybe is a logistic company. Let's take an example to that. The company must have a name, basically. And this company's name is like an identity to the company. But basically, we all understand the company must have a shares, because shares is a fraction of virtual asset that represent the equity of the company. We are calling it a share. And basically, if you want to be part of a certain company, you have to buy the shares. If you want to benefit with the company's profit and growth, you have to buy the shares. So when you talk about the company, you know exactly it must have a share, which is the fraction of virtual asset that represent the equity of the company. But most importantly, the company must have an idea, a practical idea, let me say, to be specific, practical idea. We need to know, what does the company deliver? What is the solution that the company has brought? Because at the end of the day, let me ask you something, whoever can share with me. When you go and buy the shares of a certain company, do you consider the name, or you consider the idea behind it, or you consider the price of the shares? Which of the three do you consider, please? Can you go and type on the box chat? What kind of consideration do you make when you want to buy the shares? It's all about the company's name, or what is the idea behind it, or the price of the share. So I can see Jemo said the idea behind it. Basically, when you are an investor, you invest in the business idea. Some people, they say, I want to know how much the share is it so that I can invest. No, if you are considering the price of the share before you buy it, rather than the business idea behind it, you are gambling, because you don't know what's going to drive the price of the share. You are just trying to say, let me buy this share, maybe next week it's going to be this much. That is a wrong perspective for an investor. If you are an investor, you need to go through the business idea behind the share. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? So, in this perspective now, because we have already said practical idea behind the share is what gives you the audacity to say, like, I'm going to take my money and buy and put it there. So basically, in this circumstance of the company, the same company as you see like this, it can be built on blockchain. Now, we are going to have a company. The same company maybe is a logistic company with a certain name, the same name. So now, sorry, let me delete here. Now, there's something that I want to share with you guys. I want us to I want us to I want us to discuss here together. You have a company name, you have a practical idea behind it, practical idea. And basically, I want to build this company in blockchain. So instead of having a share, I'm going to have something like a crypto here. Crypto, which is having a share character. Now, this is where now the syndicate is. Most of the people, when you mention the word crypto, okay, I want to know, if I mention the word crypto, what does it mean? Can someone tell me? Go on the box chat and type. If I mention the word crypto, what does it mean exactly? Crypto, what does it mean? Can you go and type over there, please, in TikTok or in Zoom? If you have an idea, like somebody ask you, like, and what is crypto? What would you exactly say? What does crypto mean? Is it money? Is it whatever? Just go and type on the box chat. What does crypto means? Just go in the box chat and type. What does crypto means? I just need an idea, okay? Jemo, okay, we have Xiaoji said it's a digital currency. Jemo said it's a currency. Here San said crypto means digital money. Jafet said programmable unit built on blockchain. Perfect. So basically, You are all having the right answers. Okay. Old coin that was supposed to be used as a currency. Okay. Perfect. All of you have gave the answer, but the reality is, with respect to how the world has been adopting the use of crypto, when you mention crypto, it does not directly means currency. Of course, previously it used to be like that. But nowadays, when you mention the word crypto, it does not directly means currency. Remember, last 2 months, if not 3 months, Enterprise Ethereum Alliance with relation to um, uh, I mean this guy, a chairman, um, his name, I forget his name, the chairman of SEC in the United States. They came out with a global framework that classify crypto. His name is Paul Atkins, sorry, Paul Atkins. They came up with a global standard framework that's going to classify crypto. The reason why they came with this global standard, because many people were confusing to the point that even policymakers were failing to define exactly, of all of the different crypto that they are being coming in the market, what does exactly represent? Because when you talk about crypto itself, it's a programmable unit that is built on blockchain. What does it mean, or does it refer? It depends with what is behind it. So it might be, it can be, sorry. Okay. It can be a currency. It can be like a cryptocurrency, for example, USDT, USDC, etc. It can be an asset. And we know crypto assets are of two types. They can be like something like a share, or it can be like a real world tokenized asset. It can be a collectible. It can be an NFT, which is like a, it can, NFT can be like a share. I mean, like insurance. It can be like a title deed. So crypto can be of different kinds. Are we together? It can be put in a different way. Remember, even last 2 months, there are some of the, I mean, these are JP Morgans, they shifted the treasury bonds, which were treasury bonds, which were in the Kinex blockchain, which the blockchain belongs to the JP Morgan's bank, and they transferred it to the Ondo blockchain. So even bonds can be presented in crypto, like everything can be presented in crypto. So now you are going to understand exactly what is it, because some of their gambling ticket, like meme coins, they're still crypto, but they are not investment asset. They're not currency. You cannot say a Shiba is a currency, but it's still a crypto. But it's a gambling ticket because it's just like a unit with no idea behind it, but it still has a price because of the speculation. So it's just like a gambling. It's a gambling ticket. So basically, we need to understand. So basically, as for an investors like us, what kind of crypto are we looking for? Are we looking for meme coins, which is like a gambling ticket? Are we using for what can we say? These collectibles, or are we looking for crypto which are having an asset character? What kind of asset do we need? Basically, we all need a crypto which is having an asset, a crypto which is an asset. But the question is, what does it take for a crypto to be an asset? Because some people, they say, I want to invest in crypto. What kind of crypto are you investing? If you talk about investment, you talk about long term. If you talk about long term, you talk about sustainability. The only sustainable means for a crypto to be is the idea behind it, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? So if the crypto is having an idea behind it, which has a meaning to business, then it's a worth it asset for you to invest. But we need to know exactly what does it take for a crypto to be an asset. That's the question. That's a syndicate. Like for a crypto to be an asset, for a crypto to be comfortable for me to put my money and think about 10 years to come, 20 years to come, it has to have a meaning of an asset. But for a crypto to be an asset, what does it take? And basically for today, we are going to talk about that perspective, like what does it take for a crypto to be an asset? But basically, we're not talking about a real world tokenized asset. We are talking about assets which are having a shares character, a utility crypto, a crypto which is having an adoption factor. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, somebody has written here utilities. Exactly. So if we are looking for a crypto which is having a share character, the question is, remember in the first session of our presentation, I said blockchain has only changed the perspective of project implementation and management. It has not changed the perspective of economics. So basically, when you want to analyze the shares in the perspective of economics, the factors are there. But because the crypto, which is having a share character that has been built on blockchain, as much as the perspective of economics has not changed, the factors of economics that we use to analyze the normal shares are the same factors that we are going to analyze crypto, which are having share character, because the only thing that has changed is the way these shares are being presented and managed, but it has not changed what makes them to be a share, the meaning that makes them to be a share. So that's something that we need all to understand. In that perspective, I need you to understand now. I need you to share with me. Before we even go and try to analyze the crypto which are having a share character, let's go back and just look on the shares. Today, you have 10 companies on the table. You have new companies, you have old companies, you have popular companies, and then you have these not popular companies, but you have a list of 10 companies on the table which are having the shares, and you are planning to invest, and the money that you have is only enough to buy the shares of 2 companies. Can you share with me what kind of criteria that you are going to use to rule out 8 companies and remain with 2 and put your money over there? Can you share with me which kind of factors are you going to consider? Share with me the factors that you are going to consider. Just go on the box chat and tell us and give a okay. We have somebody here as okay. Eludia said programmable. Okay, that's the last time answer. Okay, so Rommel said is going to look on the sustainability. Okay, fine. Jemo said is going to look on the reputation. Okay, perfect. Somebody else here said the management, the leadership, and the nature of the business. Okay, thank you. Do we have somebody else? Sibu said, say it again. I have said some of the crypto are having a share character. We call them assets. And because we have said blockchain has not changed the perspective of economics of a certain business, the crypto which are having the shares character, when we analyze them, we use the same factors when we are analyzing the normal shares. So the question was, before we even go to analyze the crypto which are having the shares characteristics, what kind of factors do we use when we are choosing the best share in the normal or in the ordinary system? Like I have companies like Microsoft, Tesla, and whatever. What kind of criteria do we use to choose the shares? Okay, so we have Adam said he's going to look on the product sustainability. David said a company that have crypto asset which have a share. Okay, now, okay, market potential, the team behind it. Okay, good. Do we have somebody else in this side that have shared with us? Okay. Let me see. Okay. We don't have a new. Okay, the team behind it. Okay, perfect. No problem. So basically, thank you for your response. So this is the thing that we are going to consider as people who want to invest in shares. Like you have mentioned, understand the business. Okay, perfect. So you have mentioned most of the answers. Members behind the project. That's perfect. The business idea and the durability of the technology used. Okay, that's great. So let's try to summarize them in the few points that is going to help us to analyze the project before we even buy their shares. Let's say we have numerous projects on the table, then we are going to choose few. So we are trying to use those factors to rule out some of the projects and remain with few. Number one, actually, as we said, before you buy a share, you are looking at the idea behind it. So number one, we're going to check on the community engagement factor. Like for this factor now, like I want to know, I'm going to do remember, as an investor, you are not a consumer. You are the one speculating how the consumer will be engaging with the project. So basically, you must look on how the company is going to generate the revenue so that you can have a safe position of making profits. So basically, on the community engagement factor, you are going to look what kind of idea that these people have innovated that's going to attract the community to come and engage with this project. Because remember, when we create the project, We are not creating the project for aliens. We create the project for people. So we need to know exactly what this project has been made up of to make sure that the audience is attracted to come and use their services or buy their products. Because in that way, it's the only way the company is going to generate the revenue. So number one, we have to know exactly what's something special that this company has brought to make sure that the community is engaging with this project. That is number one. Number two, we have to check on the economic point of view. Economic point of view. Economic point of view, this is the point where you are going to look on two things. Number one, you are going to check on the product that the company is offering. How is the rate of consuming? Because now you have to balance. See the production cost and then look on the consuming rate. If the consuming rate is good, then we know the production cost is being covered. That is the safe environment for me as an investor. I need to cross-check that, isn't it? So basically, that is number one. And remember, we have two types of companies. We have those companies which are having a tangible products, and we have companies which are having a service-based products. So we have to make sure that we see all those factors. Number two, we have to check the distribution of the shares in the market with relation to the equity growth, because that is the one that gives the real value to the company. So if the company is delivering or is giving a much of the shares in the circulation without the equity improvement, that's the risky, because we all know price of the share is equal to equity divided by number of shares in circulation. So as you can see here, equity is the denominator and number of shares is the numerator. So if the number of shares are just increasing without the equity increasing, so basically you understand the price of the share is going to fall. So you have to make sure that the price of the shares is growing healthy, because sometimes it happens like the value of the share is very low, but the price of it is too huge because maybe of the hype that has been given. So people in the market are just buying, putting long positions, and then it's going to be the riskier to the asset itself, because at some point it's going to be like a balloon. So that has to be on the consideration as well. So basically, that is something that we are going to check as well. We said the product consuming rate and production cost ratio. And also we're going to check on the distribution of the new shares in the circulation with respect to the equity growth, because that's going to determine the real price of the coin. But also at the same time, number three, we have to check on the roadmap. Yes, we have to make sure, because remember, you are doing an investment. And when you are doing an investment, that means you are checking for a long-term, a long-term perspective. So if you are not able to see the roadmap, and the roadmap should be having two characteristics. It has to be futuristic, it has to be realistic. Because if it is futuristic, it's giving the chance to get a bigger scope to more customers. If it is realistic, that means it's creating the space to retain the customers. That is how the company is growing. So it has to be futuristic and it has to be realistic. But number four, it has to be about the team behind it. Okay? Number four, it has to be the team behind it. Remember, any good company that is growing healthy, it needs more of a believers on the project rather than speculators. Am I talking to someone, ladies and gentlemen? You need more believer than speculators. If you are going to have more speculators in the project, that is risky, because speculators will always chase the price tag. If they're going to see a little fluctuation of the price, they panic and they would like to sell everything. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? And if they're going to sell everything, that is a risk for the company, because we are going to have more sales on the shares more than the buys. That's going to liquidate everything on the pool of the company. So the team behind the project, they must make sure that they create awareness so that people can buy the vision of the company in the long term, so they can be believers of the project and not be shaken with the intermediate price fluctuation, because price fluctuation will always be there. It has been happening, it is happening, and it will keep on happening. So you do not do investment decisions simply because of the price fluctuation of the shares. Rather, you have to consider how the service and the product of the company is being consumed and the audience increasing over the period of time. Am I talking to someone, ladies and gentlemen? If these 4 points have been clear to each and everybody, just go on the box chat and type number 333. Type number 33 if we have all understood about these important factors that we can use to evaluate the project in the normal perspective of the shares before you even go and buy it. You are the best teacher. I don't have penny on Bitcoin, but the knowledge is I accumulate. That's great. That's great. That's great. So let me see if everybody is able to see. Oh, that's good. So type number 3 if we all understand whatever is going on here. Type number 3. Type number 3. Type number 3. That's great. So because we have already seen all of the factors here. Number 1, about community engagement factor. Number 2, economic point of view. Number 3, about the roadmap. Number 4, about the team behind to make sure the vision of the company is bought by the people. People should buy the vision. They should not buy the price fluctuation or the hype that this share is going to be 10 times next month. No, 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 no. That's risky for the company. So if we have seen these factors, guess what? The same factors you are going to use to evaluate the project built on blockchain, as long as it's having a share-like character of the crypto that are backing the project. And remember, the study case project for today is called Inkryptus. Okay, let me write it here. Inkryptus. Now we are getting to the point of knowing how can we make money directly with the project that is built on blockchain. So talking about Inkryptus, Inkryptus is a company that is having a service of giving you the access to manage your digital assets that are built on blockchain ecosystem, and also to access the opportunity that are involved with those digital assets. I picked up this project back in the year of 2020 as the first client, not only in Africa, but in the whole world as the first external client. And I've been working with this project for at least 6 years now. And everything has been smooth. We have been running, of course, not smooth like it's just started and picked up like that. No, we had some bad times, like people were not understanding the project because it was still new. But now, on 6 years now, I'm very sure there are so many people who are enjoying the services in this project. And we want to analyze this project to the perspective of business. Remember, for a crypto which is having a share-like character, we can analyze it in 2 perspectives: technical part and economical part. Technical part, we are talking about the protocol makeup that is going to run the project, the infrastructure part, which that I think we can discuss it on another day because it's more of a technical, although it's not that hard. But today we want to discuss on the business perspective. Because when we talk about the technical perspective, we talk about the smart contract, how it is made, contract addresses and everything. Like you can check how the protocol is running and driving the project. But when you talk about the economical part, we are going to use the same criteria that we have been using to analyze the shares. So basically, because we have some members here who are using Inkryptus for the last at least 2 years, 1 year, etc., I think they can tell us exactly. One of the good things that I'm going to remind you, if you want to invest in the best crypto project, you have to remember one thing. It's not about buy this coin. It's about, if I don't buy this coin, does this project have something that I can use without buying their coin? Because some of the projects, or most of the projects, their business is all about buy the coin and sell the coin. But okay, what am I buying this coin for? Do I have anything that I'm investing on? If there is something that I'm investing on, that I can use, or somebody can come and interact with this ecosystem without buying their coin, then that's a good project. Am I talking to someone, ladies and gentlemen? That's a project. That's why now I want to ask some people. We have people here who have been using Inkryptus Wallet. I want to ask you guys, what exactly does attract you to use Inkryptus Wallet apart from buying Ink token? Do you have any kind of service that Inkryptus offers that you are able to use without even buying its token? If it's there, please go to your box chat and type over there so people can see why are you using Inkryptus Wallet. Just go and type over there, please. Type over there and tell us. Okay, this question, I think I will answer it later. I see the question from Evans Mihulu. I'll answer this question later. So let's just keep it. And if I forgot, please remind me. I'll have an explanation to this. So tell us, why are you using Inkryptus Wallet? Tell us what exactly has attracted you to use Inkryptus Wallet. Just go and type on the box chat. I want to see. Okay, we have Adam has said he is using Inkryptus because of the staking service. And remember, staking service not only for Ink token. You can stake Pancake Swap, Buy Swap, and Ink token itself. So there is a staking service. Okay, do we have somebody else? Japheth Moore said he's enjoying staking service, an IBO service, swapping, that means an exchange from one crypto to another, and transactions. And Eliud said staking, transaction, gaming as well. So you see, there is a real services where people use in the ecosystem of Inkryptus. That's why they are using it. And remember, if you are accessing this kind of services, you are paying for it. And if you are paying for it, that means the company is making money. As simple as that. So now in the point number 1, community engagement factor, we can mark a check because we know exactly there are services that people can use without even buying the Ink token itself. That's the meaning of the business. Okay. That is number 1. Number 2, on the economic perspective. Thank you very much, everybody who keeps on typing, like, of the different services that people are using on Inkryptus project. That's great. So that means we know exactly why we are using Inkryptus. Some people are playing games. Some people are creating their own community base by using IBO. Some people are transacting one coin to another, sending, receiving crypto. So we have services that are real happening within Inkryptus project. That's great. Number 2, economic point of view. So number 1, we can mark a check on it. Number 2, economic point of view. When you talk about the services or the product, Inkryptus is all about service-based product. And you know, sometimes when you talk about service-based product, the operation cost of it are very low, basically, because once you have the service, then people will be using it. So as much as they are using it, you have an advantage of making bigger profits because you just offer the service and then they pay for it. So basically, in that perspective, I think Inkryptus, we are good in that because we have a lot of services that are not tangible. They're all service-based and people are accessing them. And they are paying for those services to access them. So the big question here is on the distribution of the new tokens. That's where I would like you to pay attention, because on the economic perspective, we said we check on the services, but at the same time, we check on something that is called distribution of the tokens. That's where now I want you to pay the attention. And I don't know if I can, let me try to do something here. I want you guys also who are on TikTok to watch on this thing because it's very crucial for you to see the details. Let me try to flip my camera. Are you able to see the screen over there? If you're able to see the screen, my friends from TikTok, please go and type number 111 so that I can be able to show you as well. Type number 11 if you're able to see. Type number 11 if you're able to see the screen clearly. Perfect. Okay, so token distribution, because we want to check on the economic perspective of token distribution. Let me just clear it here. Let me clear here so that I can have a bigger space to write everything. Token economics. Tokenomics. So when we are discussing about how the distribution of the tokens are being arranged, in a technical term, it's called token economy. We can short it by calling it tokenomics. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? So when we talk about tokenomics, we are talking about the arrangement, the proper arrangement to the distribution of the new token to make sure that the balance of the equity and the new tokens is not affecting the price to the point of killing and disappointing the investors. That is tokenomics. The reason why we are having tokenomics is to make sure that the inflation of the token is being controlled and everybody is able to make a profit in a courtesy of price growth, which is healthy. It's not about the price growth. It has to be a health price growth. So look at this. Inkryptus is having 200 million Ink tokens. Sorry, Inky tokens. Inkryptus is having 200 million Ink tokens. In that case, it's just like when we say Tesla is having 200 million shares. It's the same language that we can speak over here. So Inkryptus is having 200 million Ink tokens. And this information, actually, they're always seen on the, in USDD, I'm in TZ. This is Ink tokens. It's just like I can say, these are shares. Are we together? I'm not talking about money here. I'm talking about cryptos which are having share-like character. So I'm saying Inkryptus is having a total of 200 million ink tokens. In other language, I could have said an example like Tesla is having 200 million shares, or KCB in Kenya is having 20 million shares. It's just like that example. And how do you see this? In a crypto-based project, you see them in a white paper. In the normal companies, you see in the memorandum of understanding. I think you all understand about that. So I said Inkryptus is having a total of 200 million ink tokens. So how is the distribution? 5% of this, 5%, 5%, they are located to the company, which are 10 million ink tokens. And these one are covering the operation expenses for the company. So there's a budget of 10 million ink token, which is the 10% of the whole ink token that will ever represent the financial statistics of Inkryptus project. They are allocated to the company for the operation expenses, paying the commissions, paying the workers, expanding the infrastructures and everything. It's within these 10 million ink tokens. 95%, which is equals to 190 million ink tokens. This one has to go to the public ownership. When I say public ownership, I mean people have to own these tokens. Now the question is, how does these tokens, which are publicly going to be owned, are being distributed? Are they being sold in pre-sale? The answer is no. Of course, we have an option for the pre-sale for most of the companies. They do something called initial coin offering. But if the company is having money or fund for seeding capital to start up the transactions, then they don't need to do a pre-sale. Inkryptus was one of the companies that never did a pre-sale. What they did, they had amount of money, so they initiated the trading pool, which is called Inky, against USDT. They provided a certain amount of money. The budget was taken from 5% of the company to initiate the trading pool. In this case, Ink token was listed publicly since day one, which means if you had USDT, which is the crypto dollar, you could have bought Ink token instantly, because we know most of the crypto pool, they're automated. So if you have Ink, you could have just sold and got USDT. As I have said, this budget from this pool was taken from this 10 million Ink token. So everybody will be asking me the question like, okay, now how does these 190 million tokens go to the market? That's where now I need you to understand. I need you to answer me this question. When people are buying shares, what kind of focus are they having when it comes to profitability? Okay, let me just answer it to save the time. Number one is a capital gain. Number two is dividends, isn't it? So basically, when people buy the shares or buying token like this one, they are expecting the token to grow in price over time, but also they are expecting to be given rewards over time. I believe that's something that you all understand when I talk about that, isn't it? So, sorry, let me do something here. Let me put a charger in my phone, because I see the internet is about to, the charger is about to die, so that we cannot be. Just a second. Okay, so we are good to go. So as I said, when you are buying Ink token, you are buying token because number one, you expect the token to be growing in price. Number two, you expect it to get a dividend as the company is making a profit or making a revenue. So actually the revenue payment, which we call them, a dividend, is being paid in different ways. Some of the companies, when you go and buy the shares, they can pay you by using the new shares, like, okay, maybe this quarter we are going to be given the profit, the dividends. And then somebody can say, okay, no, I don't want to get cash. I would like to get more shares to add my portfolio. In that case here, it's going to be called as a staking rewards. In crypto companies like Inkryptus, the dividends are not being paid in cash. Rather, they are being paid in new tokens which are not yet in the circulation. So once you have been paid, when you sell it, it's going to be available for somebody else to buy. For example, let's take an example here. Rommel has seen Inkryptus token, and also Derek has seen Inkryptus token. And then as you have seen the Ink token in the project, you find like, okay, I think I need to buy this token because I'm in love, or I have been interested with this project behind it. So that means if I'm buying this token because I'm interested with the project, I'm not planning to sell my tokens anytime soon. So The issue is, after buying this token, in the normal companies, if you buy the shares during the time of dividends, you guys just get paid. But with Inkryptus, if you have bought the Ink tokens and you have just hold them, you are going to only benefit with capital gain. But if you want to benefit with the dividends, you must lock your assets. You must put them in a fixed account or in the action called staking. Are we together? So let's say Rommel is here. Rommel has bought 1,000 tokens. And then furthermore has bought 1,000 tokens. Derek has bought 1,000 tokens as well. So that means if you have decided to lock your asset, that means you have qualified to be part of the beneficiary of the dividend rewards. So that means the system is going to conclude like, okay, there is 30,000 tokens that have been locked. Now the question is, we have said the reward is being paid by the new tokens which are not yet in circulation, this 190 million. So how does these tokens are being paid to the people who have staked? Because we understand that the new tokens coming in the market, they inherit the price which is already in the market. So if the company is not careful, it might lead to the inflation of the token. So this is the thing. Okay, fine. How did they do? They said something that is going to control the inflation. So in the first of the in the beginning, like only 1% of the tokens which have been staked, like these ones here, are going to be released. So for example, Rommel has bought 1,000 tokens. Furthermore, has put 1,000 tokens, and Derek 1,000 tokens, and they all have decided to lock them in a fixed account in the staking program. So if 1% of 3,000 tokens which have been staked by 3 guys, 1% of it is going to be 30 tokens. These 30 ink tokens are going to be deducted from 190 million, and then these tokens are going to be paid to Rommel, furthermore, and Derek, respectively to how much they have invested. This one will keep on going. Are we together? Until the staking amount is 1 million ink tokens. If the staking amount is 1 million ink token, that means the 1% of it is equal to 10,000 tokens. At that perspective, remember, if the number of the stakers increasing, the 1% also will increase. If the company is not careful, it's going to cause something called hyperinflation, which is going to kill the price. So at this point, the company said, okay, the 1% should be less or equal. Are we together? Okay, sorry. Should be less or equal to 10,000 tokens. That means the maximum release of ink tokens is 10,000 tokens, which means in case the staking is 1.5 million ink tokens, the tokens that are going to be released now here is not going to be about 1%, to be 10,000 tokens, because this is the capping limits, as the 1% should be equal or less than 10,000. So at this point, when the staking is more than 1 million, the release of the new ink token is going to be constant. That means the supply is going to be constant, 10,000 tokens, but the demand will keep on growing because people keep on buying ink tokens. In that perspective now, out of 190 million ink tokens, if you divide by 10,000 tokens, let's say since day one, the release of the token was 10,000. Out of 190 million, it will take at least 19,000 days for all the tokens to be finished. If you divide by 365, you'll get at least 52 years for all the tokens to be finished. And this is not something new, because we all know even Bitcoin, the last portion of Bitcoin will be released in the year of 2140, because we understand how the tokenomics works. Here as well, we know the last portion of ink token will be released in the year of 2080 at least, probably, because of the tokenomics that we have seen there, because the release is limited to 10,000 tokens a day. And remember, these 10,000 tokens that are released per day are the one that will receive as a dividend. So we'll keep on receiving slow amount of ink tokens according to how we have staked to at least the year of 2080, because the release is only limited to 3.6 million ink tokens per year, which is coming from 10,000 ink token per day that we receive as the rewards. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? If you have understood, please go to the box chat and type number 111. Type on 111 if you have understood how the distribution of the new tokens have been explained here. Go and type number 111. Type number 111. Type number 111 on the TikTok as well. Type number 111. So we all know we are in the same page. Okay, perfect. So basically, this is how the distribution of the new token is done. But now we want to know. No, I cannot do in Swahili because today it's an English session. Swahili session is only on Tuesday. Okay. So basically, In these tokens, how they are being distributed, it tells us how we are making profits. But the question is, before we go and estimate the returns that we make per day, I want you guys to, I know you're asking yourself the question, like, if I'm buying this ink token of $1,000, or maybe I'm buying 1,000 tokens, maybe 10,000 tokens, where does the money go? How do we generate the profit? Can somebody tell me exactly? If I'm buying the ink token in this pool here, this one, in this pool here, where does the money that I'm getting as a reward, where does this, the main source of profit of Inkryptus token, where does it come from? Can somebody tell me? I'm going to give a giveaway of if somebody going to give me the correct answer. Where does the profit that Inkryptus is generating is coming from? And when we buy the ink token from the open market, where does the money go? Those two questions. Can you go and type on the box here, please? Share with me. Where does the money go? And where is the real source of profit that we get from this token? Okay. Mfalme from TikTok said marketing. Marketing and stake. Okay, that's not. Okay, let me see somebody else. Transaction fee, exactly. Basically, the source of profit from Inkryptus is from the service that Inkryptus is offering to people. Transaction fee, IBO fee, gaming fee, fee that we charge from staking. So anything that is the service that is offered to people, when they use it, that is where now the company is making profit. When we buy the ink token in the open market, the money goes back into circulation because there are people who are buying and there are people who are selling. So it does not mean like when you buy ink token in the open market, the money goes to Inkryptus. No, it goes to the circulation as other people will come and sell. So they will need money. Other people will come and buy. They will let the money be there and take the ink token. That's how it works. So that is how it works. So Inkryptus is not a collective scheme, just like these fund managing companies where you put the money and they take your money and go and invest somewhere. No. Inkryptus is a company. When you buy the ink token, that by default you are part of ink token. How Inkryptus is making the profit is from the services that it offers to the people. That's how it works. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? If you have understood, just go and type number 777. Type number 777, and then we go to estimate the returns that we can make with Inkryptus. I want to share with you. Let me open up this screen here. Inkryptus. Type number 77 if everything is clear. And let me open up here the website, and then we go to solution and then staking. Now it's the place where people would like to see the most. People love to see, if I put this, how much do I make, isn't it? If I put this, how much do I make? They don't want to know the logic about the business. They just want to know, if I put this, how much do I make? But basically, for the sake of people understanding and making proper decision, actually, we have to make sure that people get the insight of the project. Okay, Sam, let me share the screen here. So my friends from, do you see the screen that I have shared? If you're able to see, please go and type number 111. Type number 111 if you're able to see what I have shared. Okay, good. So basically, we have already seen how the profit is being made. How do we make profit and everything? Now we can estimate our returns. So if you buy ink tokens for the sake of staking, you have set 5 options. You can stake it for unlocked contracts. You have this one, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, and 36 months. This contract here called unlocked because it allows you to withdraw your capital and your profit anytime when you want to. This is how it works. When you lock your crypto assets, you can withdraw your assets anytime when you want, and the profit as well. But when you start from the 6-month contract up to 36-month contract, you can withdraw your profit anytime you want, but the capital will be withdrawable the day the contract expires. But the profit, you can withdraw it anytime. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? So let's take an example. If we are investing a certain amount of money in crypto, I'm going to use dollar because we are having different people from different countries. So for the sake of not confusing people, let's use dollar because it's a common denominator. So let's say you have $1,000 investment, and you can use this staking calculator to estimate your returns here. For example, I have bought $1,000 worth of Ink token. Remember, you are not investing $1,000. Rather, you are investing asset worth of $1,000 at the price that you are going to buy in the given time, because the price is on the real time. So basically, if I'm going to put $1,000, I'm going to get 656 ink as of today's price. So 656 ink is the amount of the ink that I'm going to stake. How much do I make per day? If I have decided to choose a contract of 36 months, per day, I'm going to be making around 1.5 ink tokens. 1.5 ink tokens for today's price is around how much, guys? It's around 2.4 US dollars. This is a gross profit. Remember, the company charges you 25% and let you retain 75%. So the net profit that's going to be created for you to withdraw is 1.1823 ink as of today's percentage, which is equal to 1.8. So in a month, roughly, if you just try to choose a month, you are going to make 35 ink, which is equal to 54 ink. This roughly gives you an estimation like you are making 5.4% per month of the asset that you have staked. So if you try to estimate in a year, that means you'll be making around 648 if the price will remain the same. Remember, the price of the ink token is changing. So here they are showing the highlight of ink because the price is changing. So roughly, the net profit per year is equal to 64.8%. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? So if it's the 3 years contract, you can estimate. So this calculator here gives you the estimation, but remember, things may change, like the price can change and the percentage also can change. Okay, the percentage also that you receive per day changes. Okay, I want to ask the question, if somebody is going to get this answer right, I'm going to give you $20 in USDT as long as you have a Inkryptus wallet. Do you think what will make the percentage, the daily percentage change, and what is going to cause the change, and the change is going to be decreasing or increasing, and why? Can somebody tell us the answer to that, please? Just go in the box and tell us the answer on that, if you can. Anybody from TikTok or from Zoom. The first correct answer is going to get the reward. The daily reward that we receive. For example, here we said in the 3 years you get 0.24% per day. In the 1 year here you get 0.17% per day. So you can play around with this calculator as much as you want, and then you can choose any amount of any contract and an amount with respect to your currency, and then it gives you an estimation of how much you can make per day in the estimation with respect to the day's price. Let me see if somebody has tried to answer here. The price will increase. Okay, increase of people staking, community. No, I think the question is not clear. I'm saying this reward here that we receive per day, will it? Okay, somebody has gave the answer. The dividend rewards will be decreasing because the demand is increasing. Okay, that's correct, but I need more clarity. Why the daily dividends is going to be decreasing over time? Or is it going to increase like this one that we receive? Do you think the 0.24% will keep on like this, or it's going to decrease? And what will make it decrease, or maybe if it's going to remain the same? Much demand makes daily reward decrease. Of course, much reward, when distribution of the daily token is given out in full, the price will decrease. No. Actually, I think the question is not clear. It's like this. Remember, we are getting rewards from the new tokens. Are we together? We are getting rewards from the new tokens. And the new tokens that are coming in the circulation is limited to 10,000. That means if the new tokens which we receive as a daily reward is limited to 10,000 tokens, if more people are staking, then the rewards will keep on decreasing. This to create the scarcity and maintain the price to be stable. So we expect the price to be decreasing over time because the dividend is limited to 10,000 tokens. So if people will be staking more tokens and the rewards will be distributed from only 10,000 tokens, then the daily rewards will be decreasing. The more stake tokens we have, the staking rewards will be decreasing. Exactly, because the supply is limited to 10,000 tokens per day. That is very important also to control the inflation so that the price cannot be fluctuating or over inflated. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? So this calculator here, you can play around with it as much as you can. You can put any amount, choose the contract, estimate the returns. Maybe if you want to know per month how much you can make. But remember, these dividends will keep on increasing over time, just like how you saw when all the 10,000 token distribution goes down. Not necessarily go down, because at the end of the day, if people will be buying more tokens, remember our token has been paying the distribution of 10,000 tokens for the last 3 years, because this token was because this token has been listed for the last 3 years ago. And as we are talking right now, despite the dividend that we receive every day, the performance of it has grown by 70%. So it's not that easy. If the tokenomics is strong, it's not that easy, the price goes down. This token has been having one of the marvelous performance of all the tokens that you know, because it's giving you daily rewards and still its price performing better for the last 3 years. Let me show you something here. The price performance of each token for the last 3 years. If you see here, you can see it started with 0.8 and now it is 1.52. This is almost like a 70% growth, despite the daily dividend that we receive in profits. But performance of the token also has been very stable. So you can tell how stable this token is. For the person who said the price will go down, not necessarily, because we have been receiving the rewards for the last 3 years and the performance has been positive for all the years. We have grown up in capital gain for almost like 70%. Okay, are we together, gentlemen? So let's yeah, very, very stable token, actually, very stable. This is very stable. So basically that is the estimation of the returns. When you are staking, you can just play around with this calculator as much as you want. It is possible you can estimate, but remember, the price fluctuation is always there, because this is a token that people are able to buy and sell on the open market. So this is how it works. So if this part is well understood, just go on the box chat and type number 111. Go on the box chat and type number 111 if it is well understood, so that we can go and explain the last part. Just go and type number 111. Type number 111. Type now. Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. So this is the part that I was explaining for people who want to be investors. Like, I'm just an investor. I invest my cap, I buy my tokens, I lock it in a fixed account, then I keep on doing my own thing. And remember, as I have said, no matter which kind of contract that you are going to choose, you are free to withdraw your token anytime, and you can sell to the open market anytime on your convenience. There is no limit to that. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? So you can just do the transactions, sell your tokens, withdraw your profit, do your bills, but your capital is still there. Once the contract is done, you are free. You can open another contract to continue, or you can close and withdraw your money, but you are free to come back to the business anytime when you want to. That is the first part. Who buys our token? This token is already on the open market. So people are trading, people are buying and selling. If you can see here, I have showed you here on this app space. You can see this token is already listed on the open market. So who buys and who sells, it does not matter, because people are so many who are using these tokens. So they can just buy and sell it. So you just buy, some people are buying it, you are selling it. People are buying it because it's already listed on the open market. As you can see here, the transaction are like this. So it's a token which is already listed. So who buys is the buyer. Who sells it? The one who sells it. Are we together, Mr. Mo Indiot? Your name is somehow hard to pronounce. Okay, I'm sorry if I have mentioned it wrongly, but this is how it works. So this token is already on the open market, so people are able to buy and sell it, and people are trading it on the live or on the open market. So people who buys and sells are the one who makes the price to be changing. Okay. So if this part is well understood, I would like to take you back to the whiteboard screen so that we can finish the last part of our presentation. Actually, let me just go to the document and then share the whiteboard screen. New. And then let's go and use this one. Okay, so if the first part is well understood, I want to ask you something. Do you know? Okay, Mol. I was among the Kericho participants. Okay, that's great. That's great. Nice to see you again in this presentation. I'll be coming to Kericho. I think in the first week of April, we are going to have another seminar over there. So get ready. I'll be coming back over there very soon. So basically, did you know with this wallet, there is a service which is called IBO that allows you to create your own community of people who are using Inkryptus, and you make money through every service that they use with Inkryptus.
Inkryptus taught me how to play the game. It's Inkryptus, yeah, that's the shield I trust. Crypto real, no hype, no rust. Blockchain dreams built block by block. One wallet, one world, yeah, we breaking the lock. It's Inkryptus, powering the shift we need.